This is Fox 2 News and News 11, the power of 2 midday.
The Ferguson-Florissant School District making a move on whether to remain all virtual with its classes, what the school board decided, and the latest.
This is your 9mm equivalent, right? So this.
And firearms purchases on the rise during the pandemic. Gun buyers reveal why.
An internal investigation is underway right now at the St. Louis County Police Department. Meanwhile, the head of their diversity and inclusion unit wants to step down. We have a follow-up for you coming up.
We need to ensure that what we saw happen a week ago today never happens again.
History is made as the House votes to impeach President Trump for a second time.
And we have a strong cold front pushing into the St. Louis area. It's bringing rain showers today, but what about snow for Friday?
Thank you for joining us for the Power of 2. I'm Molly Rose in for Dan Gray. We begin with a fatal highway crash. Bommarito Automotive Group Skyfox over the scene of a deadly accident in Lake St. Louis this morning. It happened around 8 on eastbound 64 near Prospect. One car was involved. That woman was ejected when the car overturned. No word yet on the identity of the driver or the cause of that crash. And in a Power of 2 exclusive, video shows a daring rescue at a crash in St. Charles. The crash led to a diesel fuel leak and a huge fire. Bommarito Automotive Group Skyfox was over the accident on westbound 370 near Elm yesterday. It had traffic shut down for about 8 hours. A witness started recording with his phone, too far away to help the driver, but close enough to see the two heroes who he says saved the driver's life.
In 2021 in America, to see somebody run into fire with fire, I mean, that cab was already on fire when they got there to try to help that guy. In that moment, those guys did exactly what needed to be done.
And in that witness's video, a man runs toward the flames. With another man's help, they rescued that driver who was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Police say a 9-year-old boy found wandering in South St. Louis overnight ran away from home. He was spotted just after 1 this morning on Cherokee Street at Nebraska Avenue. He told police his mother threatened him after she accused the boy of stealing her snacks. An ambulance took him to the hospital to be checked out. That investigation is ongoing. Ferguson-Florissant students won't be inside a classroom anytime soon. The Power of 2's Chris Regnier tells us about the decision by the school board.
We are just outside the administration building for the Ferguson-Florissant School District. The school board here voting 6-0 at a marathon virtual meeting last night to continue all virtual classes in this district until at least March the 1st. We can show you video from a past school board meeting here. The Ferguson-Florissant district has been all virtual since March of last year. Board leaders were split 3-3 on a motion that would have kept the district 100% virtual through the entire third quarter of this academic year. The third quarter begins in this district next Tuesday, the 19th. Board members say during this extension of virtual schooling, district officials are going to continue to study a return to school plan. The board last night did approve a return to winter athletic competition. That starts next Tuesday as well. COVID-19 has been a significant issue for the Ferguson-Florissant district, just like it has been for many other school districts. Here is the latest COVID-19 information provided by the Ferguson-Florissant district. There have been 1,160 new COVID-19 cases in the Ferguson-Florissant School District community over the past 14 days. There have been 151 new cases in children in this district over the past 2 weeks. When it comes to staff members, there have been 7 positive cases in staff members over the last 7 days. Meanwhile, 4 staff members have been quarantined for the last week due to possible COVID-19 exposures. Reporting in Hazelwood, I'm Chris Regnier.
Gun purchases tend to go up during a national crisis, and the pandemic is no different. A study from the University of California, Davis shows the pandemic has led to a jump in demand for firearms and ammunition. Some 110,000 recent gun purchases were in California, were a direct response to the pandemic. Around 40% of those sales were by people who have never bought a gun. 76% say they are worried about lawlessness. 56% say they purchased guns due to early prison releases to stop the spread of COVID behind bars. And 49% say they are worried about, quote, the government going too far. When will you be able to get the COVID-19 vaccine if you're not a healthcare worker or at a long-term facility? Well, in St. Louis City, you can sign up to receive notifications about the COVID vaccine. Those who register will receive notifications about when it's available and when it will be distributed. The St. Louis County and other area counties have set up similar registration programs. And the St. Louis County Lieutenant heading the Diversity and Inclusion Unit steps down from the position. He says he responded to a county dispatcher using a racial slur, and that response triggered backlash. The Power of Two's Blair Ledet is in Clayton with a follow-up on the fallout.
If you will recall, this is the same officer who reached a $10.5 million settlement with the county's police department after he says he was discriminated against. Now, Lieutenant Keith Wildaber says he was harshly reprimanded after offering statements to the media about the St. Louis County dispatcher using a racial slur toward another employee while on the job. This is according to our partners at the Post-Dispatch. Well, we reported to you Sunday an internal investigation was launched after that slur was directed toward a black North County precinct officer. Wildaber told one media outlet, quote, this type of language is disgusting and has no place in our department or in society. Immediate and decisive action must be taken by department leadership. We cannot continue to deny there is systemic racism and discrimination in our department. It's time to dismantle it. Well, he says after he made this statement, he was then called into human resources and told not to speak anymore to the media. He now wants to transfer from that diversity and inclusion unit he was leading, which is fairly new. Well, the Ethical Society of Police had this to say about the fallout. Quote, it is obvious that the awarding of $1 million settlement for previous discrimination was not a deterrent for the continued behavior. This should serve as further evidence of the department's consistent tactic of denial, cover-up, silence, and/or punishment of those who speak out. One would think that a police board with 4 of 5 of its members being attorneys would know better. Well, they say they are now calling on the Board of Commissioners to step in and end the county's intimidation tactics. Meanwhile, the county's police department says that there are limitations set when it comes to the statements that officers are able to give to the media. The Police Association also releasing a statement saying that they support Wildaber and they will represent him if he is punished for all of this. Reporting in Clayton, I'm Blair Ledet.
For the first time, the Missouri House censures one of its own. St. Louis Democrat Representative Wiley Price is accused of having sex with an intern. Lawmakers censured Price and stripped him of his committee assignments, but they voted down an amendment to expel him from the House. Price denied any wrongdoing.
These allegations do not match my character or the man that I've grown to be. I apologize to my friends and my colleagues for even putting us in this position.
Price cannot have an intern for the rest of his time in the House. He also has to pay back the cost of the ethics investigation. That bill is nearly $23,000. And Missouri U.S. Senator Josh Hawley responds to criticism he's received for objecting to the election results. In an op-ed in the Southeast Missourian, Hawley wrote, countless Missourians question the fairness and security of the election. He added, Democrats have objected to every Republican-won election for the last 30 years. Hawley says Democratic debate should avoid violence, not cause it. An Illinois reform bill that would eliminate cash bail and require police body cameras is headed to Governor J.B. Pritzker's desk. Language for the 700-page bill was finalized yesterday and approved by lawmakers. Eliminating cash bail is something supporters say levels the playing field for people who can't afford it. But critics say the wording of the bill would result in no bail for some suspected murderers. Some law enforcement groups worry about how they will pay for new mandates, including additional training and body cameras. Many of Illinois law enforcement fear that this will make communities unsafe. Representative Chris Welch, a Democrat from the Chicago area, makes history as the first black man to become Illinois House Speaker. Michael Madigan ends his record run as the longest tenured state legislative leader in American history. All right, 48 degrees out there on your Thursday. Taking a live look now in downtown St. Louis over the Gateway Arch. It was beautiful out there yesterday. Let's check in now with meteorologist Angela Hutti to see if we will see any more of that weather.
Yeah, Molly, unfortunately, we're saying goodbye to the nice weather once again here in the St. Louis area. That shot did show you a little bit of sunshine, but we've had a band of light rain showers make their way through the St. Louis area already. You need to use the windshield wipers, maybe put the hood up on your coat. And we're waiting for more scattered showers to roll in through the afternoon. Still tracking a little batch of rain down across southern St. Francis, St. Genevieve counties into Perry County in Missouri, along and just west of the I-55 corridor. And speaking of the west, let's look back to the west, central to southwestern Missouri, from about Boonville down to now the Springfield and Joplin areas. You see a little batch of rain. That is going to wrap in our direction as well. So while we're seeing some peaks of sunshine, I think clouds are the dominant feature, and we will see on and off again rain showers through the afternoon. Temperatures are well above the freezing point. This is all liquid rainfall today. We'll push towards 50 degrees for a high temperature, but wind speeds will be increasing, gusts in that 20 to 40 mile per hour range through the afternoon. So keep that in mind as you step outside. Windy, warm, at least by January standards, and that chance of showers through the late afternoon. Then tonight, the cold air returns. We'll talk about what that means as our raindrops change to snowflakes for Friday. Timing and details coming up in a few minutes.
Still ahead on the Power of Two. Following last week's riot in Washington, airlines can kick unruly passengers off planes without warning. The punishment passengers can face. And the steps Airbnb is taking to try to keep protesters from disturbing next week's presidential inauguration.
It's sort of like a lottery ticket with smells on it.
Scratch and sniff, no longer just regulated to stickers and books for the pint-sized crowd. How it can help in the fight against COVID. History in Washington. President Trump has been impeached for a second time. The expedited vote included support from 10 Republicans, and the president leaves office in less than a week. Doug Luzader has more from Washington.
At some point, there is going to be a Senate trial, and while the timing is something of a mystery, it will not happen before the president leaves office. With a flourish of her pen, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi held up what is now a historic document, the first ever second impeachment of a U.S. president.
He is a clear and present danger to the health, safety, and well-being of the American people.
The Democrats scheduled a quick debate before the vote, with many squarely blaming President Trump for last week's attack on the U.S. Capitol. 10 Republicans joined with them, but others questioned the wisdom of a last-minute impeachment with almost no likelihood of removing the president before his term ends next week.
There's no way this helps the nation deal with the tragic and terrible events of last week that we all condemn.
Shortly after the vote, the president didn't mention impeachment, but he called for an end to political violence.
We have seen too many riots, too many mobs, too many acts of intimidation and destruction.
And with the prospect of a Senate trial for Trump still to come, the president-elect Joe Biden is concerned that it could interfere with efforts to get his new administration off the ground. All of this playing out as more layers of security are coming to the nation's capital. The corridors here have been filled with National Guard troops, just some of the thousands in place for next week's inauguration. And just as talk of impeaching President Trump began before he even took office, one Republican member of Congress is already talking about impeaching Joe Biden. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
Another social media platform censors President Trump permanently. Snapchat says it's making the move in the interest of public safety following last week's Capitol riots. President Trump has also been permanently banned from Twitter. Facebook has suspended his account at least until Inauguration Day, with the possibility it could last longer. Effective immediately, the FAA adopting a strict unruly passenger policy after incidents were reported on multiple airlines surrounding last week's unrest in the nation's capital. The FAA says the rule stems from both the recent violence in D.C. and refusals to follow a mask policy. Penalties range from fines to jail time, and no warnings will be given. Airbnb canceling all D.C. area bookings next week. Concerns over violence in the days leading up to and during President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration prompting the move. Any reservations already booked through the site have been canceled. And 2 years after leaving office, former Michigan Governor Rick Snyder facing charges of willful neglect of duty in the Flint water crisis. Snyder was governor when high amounts of lead were found in Flint's drinking water after a change of water service. The water was not properly treated as it made its way to homes. At least 90 cases of Legionnaire's disease were reported, resulting in 12 deaths. Coming up on The Power of Two, if you're eating lunch right now, you might want to put your fork or spoon down, where mealworms are now approved for human consumption and what they taste like. And the Better Business Bureau wants you to be on the lookout for COVID-19 vaccination schemes. Learn about the potential scams, rip-offs, and identity theft by ruthless crooks trying to rip you off.
Raindrops around the St. Louis area on our Thursday, but by Friday, it's going to be snow flurries as winter comes rushing back in on gusty winds. We break down the timing and precipitation types next.
Hold on tight, don't flip out, and make yourself comfortable. It's a four-legged world of hidden talent.
Can you go play the piano?
World's funniest animals.
Tonight at 8 on KPLR 11, the CW.
Judge Jerry Springer is back, and he's ready to rule. Judge Jerry Springer, all new Season 2.
Judge Jerry, weekdays at 1 on KPLR 11.
All right, welcome back in. Put your food down if you're eating before this story. Insects are inching closer to becoming a go-to snack. The European Union's Food Safety Agency has declared mealworms are safe to eat. The decision paves the way for the dried larvae to be sold as a crunchy snack or as an ingredient for making pasta, biscuits, and other foods. Once the European Commission gives the green light, mealworms will make their way into supermarkets and restaurants. They are said to taste like peanuts, and they're packed with protein, healthy fats, and fiber. No, thank you. All right, peeking back outside along Market Street in downtown St. Louis. Looks dry out there now, but we want to check in with meteorologist Angela Hutti, who says we will need the umbrella later. Right, Angela?
Yeah, you may have used it a little bit earlier. I know I had to use the windshield wipers on my way into work this morning, and we might need those umbrellas into this afternoon as well. There's a cold front making its way through the St. Louis area. We have lots of clouds. Occasionally, we do have a little break in that overcast, but those clouds are going to be the dominant feature today, and they are bringing some spots of light rain. I mentioned the one batch that's kind of already moved through. It has left a little bit of sprinkle activity stretching from southern Madison County in Illinois down through St. Clair County and on down into Randolph and back across the river into St. Genevieve County at this hour. And then also watching a second batch of light rain making its way through central central Missouri. That's going to push towards the St. Louis area as we go through the afternoon. All of this is with a cold front, and with that punching in, when you get a change in the atmosphere, you have pressure changes in the atmosphere, and that causes the wind speeds to increase. So into this afternoon, we could be looking at 25 to up to 35 mile per hour wind gusts here out of a southerly direction. That's going to keep us warm for our Thursday, but watch what happens overnight. We stay breezy, but that wind direction becomes more westerly to even northwesterly at times, and that is going to send colder air into the St. Louis area. And look, by Friday afternoon, as those winds really start to pump in that colder air, we are going to be looking at wind gusts in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range. So quite a bit of wind around over the next 24 to 36 hours, all accompanied with this storm system. Today it's rain. Tomorrow it will be some snow. Cloudy at Lambert right now. Again, rain earlier. 48 degrees the current temperature. There's those winds southwest at 14. Pressure right now 29.59 inches, and it is holding steady. Moscow Mills View giving you a little view of that break in the overcast, a little sunshine, but look at the flags here with those winds. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 40s, so anything that falls today will be in liquid form. Any winter storm warnings are well to our north, but this storm system, big spin of low pressure, sends that cold front through today. That's the rain. Overnight, mostly cloudy, a lot of dry time, maybe a spot flurry, but it's this wrap around snow as this area of low pressure drops south and southeastward into Friday. We see that snow wrap back into the St. Louis area. Now, highest totals will be well to our north, but in through central Missouri and into the St. Louis area, snow showers on and off through the day on Friday could bring us up to an inch of snowfall, especially on those grassy surfaces. Expect pockets of flurries through 10 a.m. and then bursts of light snow through the day tomorrow. And again, light accumulations, but kind of nuisance snow on and off through the day on Friday. Today it's rain showers, temperatures in the 40s, gusty winds. Tonight, windy, cold, mostly cloudy, a few snow flurries, 32 the overnight low. The extended outlook, again, tomorrow, pockets of flurries and light snow on and off through the day and into Friday night, just 35 your high. Snow flurries linger on Saturday, no additional accumulation, 34. Mostly cloudy Sunday and 37, a little warmer for the Dr. King holiday on Monday.
All right, Angela, thank you. Scammers will stop at nothing to steal. And the same is true for the coronavirus crisis. As COVID-19 vaccinations roll out across the country, the possibility of scams related to the vaccine raise concerns. The Better Business Bureau warns consumers to be on guard against these fraudsters peddling phony treatments, phishing schemes, and other attempts to steal your money or your personal information. Joining us now, Chris Thetford with the Better Business Bureau. Chris, these people are always finding new ways to steal your information. What are they doing now?
Absolutely, and it almost always seems to be tied to topics that are very much in the news. So things that we talk about, things that we hear about on the radio, things that we see on television become avenues for scammers to take advantage of us. And what we want people to know is the COVID vaccine is going to be likely one of those things as well, because there's so much news about it, there's so much anticipation that people are desperately wanting it that there could open themselves up to ID theft or other sorts of theft if they gave their information to the wrong person. So you need to be really careful right now, Molly. If you get a call from somebody claiming to be either from the Centers for Disease Control or the World Health Organization or somebody like that, or an email from one of those sorts of places talking to you about the COVID vaccine, and you need to be vigilant if you get those calls and you get those emails.
Yeah, and there was a very strange situation that happened to a man in Georgia. Tell us about that. What kind of call did he get, and how did they try to trick him into giving up some information?
Great point, Molly. So at BBB, we heard from a person in Georgia who said he got a phone call asking for his Medicare number because they needed to perform a COVID test before he could be vaccinated. And he was in the group of citizens in Georgia that were up to be vaccinated. And so he gave out his Medicare number. But then when he got a repeat call from the organization that had called him originally asking for more information, that's when he began to get suspicious and canceled his appointment. So that's a good example of why we need to be vigilant on the phone and listen carefully, because you don't want to give up any information that could compromise your identity or lead to financial loss for you. So you don't want to give up things like your birth date. You don't want to give up things like credit card numbers or checking account numbers to people over the phone if you don't know who they are. And if you get an unsolicited email from an organization that looks like it could have to do with the COVID vaccinations, really double check that URL, Molly, to make sure it's coming from an official source. Hint here for everybody is that emails from the government are going to come from accounts that end in the .gov. Probably the best advice overall, Molly, is if you've got questions about the COVID vaccine, talk either to your doctor or talk to the Department of Health in the community where you live, and they can give you up-to-date information about when you're likely to receive the vaccine, which group you'll be in based upon your personal characteristics, so that you don't have to worry about falling victim to one of these schemes or scams.
That is very good advice. Chris Thetford from the Better Business Bureau, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And several stories still ahead on The Power of Two. Recalls about cars and dog food that could be deadly to your pet. Plus, the best places to raise a family. But first, actor Taye Diggs joins us live with a sneak peek at the season premiere of the TV show All American.
That for me.
Coronavirus has taken away so much from us, including the ability to go to a live show to enjoy music. You can bet if it's hard on us, it's even harder on the musicians. That's why one Los Angeles woman is taking to the streets and showing us the power of her sound of music. Marla Tellez reports from Los Angeles.
She has a knack of turning an ordinary street corner into a sidewalk symphony.
This is incredible.
But it's Shang-Ching Shu's why she can be found playing her beloved violin at various locations around Los Angeles on any given day that really pulls at the heartstrings.
I started playing because I just miss playing for people so much, and I thought if I miss playing, there must be people missing listening as well.
It's just wonderful for her to offer her talent in a time where people are isolated.
These are my parents.
Shu, who was just 17 when she left Taiwan to study music in the States, went on to receive her master's from the acclaimed Juilliard School in New York City. When COVID shut down her industry, it also shut down a part of her.
It's not just difficult for performing artists financially, but also because this is what we do. And in a way, when we're not doing what we do, we kind of lose who we are, and I lost who I was.
That is until she decided to pick up her bow and just play for anyone who happens to be walking by or those lucky enough to live on just the right corner. Even for the pop, Shu quickly becomes a stroll stopper.
We don't get to go to concerts anymore, so this is really great.
In the short time she's been holding these weekly mini-masked concerts, Shu's already grown a following.
I've seen her several times now. Oh yeah, there's a smile in here.
For Shu, it is that reaction that strikes just the right note, because in the midst of a pandemic, her music is proving to be medicine that doesn't cost a thing.
Music gives people hope, music comforts, music heals people. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And when our news hour continues, how do Illinois and Missouri rate for family life? We'll take a look at the best states to raise a family.
Smell it. If you can smell it, you move to item number 2. If you can't smell it, you move, let's say, to item number 6.
Scratch and sniff stickers were all the rage back in the 80s. Now make way for a scratch and sniff COVID test. How it works.
This is where you'll find our Jefferson City Capitol Bureau, breaking down the issues that matter to your community, asking the lawmakers you elected tough questions, and getting real answers.
Welcome back in. The feds are asking Tesla to recall 158,000 cars because of failing displays. Safety officials say the failures of the media control units affects vehicles' backup camera, climate controls, and Tesla's autopilot system. Regulators want Tesla to fix worn-out flash memory chips in 2012 through 2018 Model S sedans and 2016 through 2018 Model X SUVs. And the FDA is expanding a nationwide pet food recall after 70 dogs died and at least 80 others have gotten sick. The recall involves certain sports mix pet food for dogs and cats manufactured by Midwestern Pet Foods. The FDA says it could contain potentially fatal levels of a toxin produced by mold that can cause long-term liver damage. If your pet has eaten this product, the FDA does recommend to take them to the vet office. A group of universities have worked together to create a scratch and sniff test for COVID-19. Many people who contract the virus, they lose their sense of taste or smell. Now a basic sniff test can help find out if you've been infected. Each spot may or may not have a smell after you scratch it. The app helps guide you through the test, and it works after you scan a QR code. Researchers say the scratch and sniff tests, they're cheap, costing about 20 cents a piece. They should be available within a couple months. And some states are better than others when it comes to raising a family. Personal finance website Wallet Hub releasing its rankings for the best and worst states for families in 2021. The top 3 states to raise a family are Massachusetts, Minnesota, and North Dakota. Missouri ranked in the middle at 27, while Illinois ranked higher at 16. The worst states to raise a family, New Mexico and Mississippi. Wallet Hub basing its list on various categories, including family income, housing affordability, the unemployment rate, education, childcare, and safety. TikTok addressing privacy concerns for a younger generation of users. Starting yesterday, accounts created by users ages 13 to 15 years old will automatically have default privacy settings. Those settings only allow approved friends the ability to view and comment. Other features like downloading or sharing videos will also be removed for underage users. Sports next, coming up after the break.
And here comes Kyrou, sends it over, goes back to Kyrou for the goal.
And the Blues skate off on the right foot in their season opener. The note who put the puck between the pipes for the win against the Avalanche. Plus, caught on camera, how a Kansas game warden used his shooting skills to save 2 deer instead of hunting them. Let's go Blues. The team opened the season on the road in Colorado. First period, down by 1, Oscar Sundqvist scores the first goal of the season, and we're tied at 1. Still in the first, Tyler Bozak passes to Jordan Kyrou. Kyrou scores to put the Blues up 2-1. And after a scoreless second period, the Blues add to their lead in the third period. New Blue Kyle Clifford scores to make it 3-1 Blues. Later, it's Sundqvist again, his second goal of the game. The Blues score 4 unanswered goals and beat the Avalanche 4-1. Robert Thomas has 2 assists, and Jordan Bennington made 26 saves. All right, look at this incredible video from Jackson County, Kansas. That's north of Topeka. A game warden was called in after 2 white-tailed deer got their antlers entangled. He threw cloth over the heads of the animals, pointed his revolver at the antlers, and then fired a shot. That got the animals loose without any injury. Amazing. All right, we are going to take another look outside from our roof camera at 11:42 and check back in with meteorologist Angela Hutti, who says we might need the umbrellas later, but snow tomorrow, right, Angela?
Yes, I do think we're going to have pockets of light snow around tomorrow. We've been talking about this a lot. And I think the biggest issue with this snow, it's not going to be a ton, but it's going to be wind blown, and that's going to create some problems for folks that do have to get out and about tomorrow. It's not a lot of snow, but getting whipped around, that could cause some poor visibility. Again, today is all about rain. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 40s out there right now, and those rain showers will be around through the afternoon primarily. Then some dry time overnight with just a few snow flurries, but then notice tomorrow morning the snow chances begin to increase. Here is the Power Doppler view. We had one batch of rain make its way through in the mid to late morning. I know I used the windshield wipers a few times on my way into work around 9:30. And then we're watching another batch of light rain that's pushing towards our western counties. So heads up, folks, in Montgomery, into Gasconade, into Phelps and Dent counties. A little bit batch of rain and headed in your direction. That will continue to work its way eastward as we go through the afternoon hours. Lots of clouds out there. Occasionally a break in that overcast, but clouds are dominating. Renewal by Anderson web camera here in Festus, giving you a good look at those clouds. And here's the view at Lindenwood University in St. Charles. And we'll head to the central west end for our comfort zone forecast. It's already breezy out there. Temperatures with a southwest wind on the mild side for January, 48 degrees, southwest winds at 14. Winds are going to be a story again, along with the rain today and snow tomorrow. They're going to remain quite gusty. And I think they're even stronger, at their strongest, during the morning hours of our Friday. So that's something to keep in mind. Puts our wind chill at 42, what it actually feels like on exposed skin. Actual air temperatures elsewhere, though, well up into the 40s, 47 O'Fallon, Tower Grove Park, 46 degrees at the Edwardsville location, in Illinois. 39, though, Litchfield, 46 Sparta, 46 degrees in Rolla. So all of this is rain. Any snow today well to our north. Light rain showers through the afternoon. Into the overnight tonight. We get into a little bit of a lull, but this storm system starting to wrap itself up. So a few snow flurries overnight. But by first thing tomorrow morning, by sunrise, I think pockets of light snow are dropping in from the northwest. And we will see these pockets of light snow and flurries on and off through the day on Friday, getting whipped around in those gusty winds. Accumulations will be minor, less than an inch, but again, going to be some nuisance snow around for folks that do have to get out and about. Scattered rain showers today, temperatures topping out around midday here in the upper 40s, then starting to fall. Tonight, windy and cold with occasional snow flurries, 32, your overnight low. The extended outlook, tomorrow again, pockets of light snow on and off through the day, gusty winds and cold, 35. Snow flurries linger Saturday, then we dry things out Sunday and Monday.
And a lot of us are working from home online, so we are tired of staring at those old electronics staring back at us. But don't. You can drop that stuff off somewhere that's not a landfill. You can actually take it to the Heights in Richmond Heights, and you can drop them off for recycling. That is going to be Saturday, January 23rd from 8 until noon. Now, it's important to know you can't recycle everything, but you can get on the list on Facebook at the Heights RH for more information.
You're one of those people, there's a good chance it happened fast with little warning.
A lot of people were sent out of the office with no training at all. They said, go home. And so they don't know anything about nothing, right? And they're a big security risk.
Cybersecurity expert Scott Schaefer with Blade Technologies says more people working from home has created a larger opportunity for hackers to attack.
We're looking at about 100% of them started with a social engineering attack, like a phishing email, spear phishing, has a link in there. You click it, you give up your credentials. That's how it starts.
Schaefer says it's not just big companies being targeted.
Small to medium businesses are just getting rocked because, there's more bad guys out there.
His advice is simple. Be careful where you click.
The bad guys can send out 1 million emails. It only takes one person to click on it. They return their investment. So don't be the clicker.
And don't think you're safe when you log off your computer for the night. Schaefer warns of a new, likely unexpected vulnerability in your home.
Who thought light bulbs would ever be a cybersecurity risk?
The Philips Hue Smart lights, to be exact.
A hacker can get into it, and they can make it flash and do crazy stuff like you think it's failing or something. So you reboot it, right? Well, that's the worst possible thing you could do with this, because then it gets into the firmware, which is the software that runs the hardware, and then it can pass from that to your network and then onto the business network.
For business owners large and small, Schaefer recommends developing a cybersecurity plan and training your employees on what to look out for. For all of us, if an email looks suspicious, don't click on it and don't be afraid to contact whoever supposedly sent it to see if it's legit. For Fox 2 and News 11, I'm Mike Colombo reporting.
Entertainment news is next on The Power of Two. Movie and television production hit a new pandemic low in Hollywood.
Twinkle, twinkle, little bat. I met the new girl. She's gonna be a handful.
Alice is planning something big. Don't kill me, but I made some alterations.
To what, the suit? New look. New Batwoman.
Batwoman. New episode Sunday on KPLR 11, The CW.
You're watching The Power of Two Midday. Hollywood hits a speed bump. Movie and television production hitting a new pandemic-era low last month. A nonprofit group that tracks production says filming plunged 25% from last month from November. Studios like Netflix, CBS, Warner Brothers, Sony, Disney, and Universal, they have temporarily halted production until mid-January. And Netflix makes an announcement. Deborah Messing wants to play Lucille Ball and more. Ashley Dvorkin has the latest in the Hollywood Nation.
The Black Panthers are forming a rainbow coalition.
Kaluuya leads, Messing reacts, and Netflix drops a huge surprise in the Hollywood Nation.
Hello world, Gal Gadot is here.
And Uncle Handsome. Whoa.
Netflix is giving its subscribers something to look forward to this year. The streaming giant revealed its full slate of films coming out in 2021 and promises to release a new movie each week. The list of new films include Red Notice starring Gal Gadot, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Ryan Reynolds. The new Western, The Harder They Fall, starring Regina King and Idris Elba. And Don't Look Up, starring Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio. Deborah Messing is responding to the social media buzz about the casting news of Aaron Sorkin's upcoming biopic on Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. On Monday, Deadline reported that Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem are in talks to play the TV icons in Being the Ricardos. But fans took to Twitter to share that while they think Kidman is a great actress, Messing should be the one portraying the famous redhead. The actress retweeted messages from fans telling them she is available to play the role after a follower questioned if she was unavailable.
We can heal this whole city.
And Daniel Kaluuya leads a revolution in the new trailer to the Warner Brothers drama Judas and the Black Messiah. The biographical film stars Kaluuya as Black Panther Party chairman Fred Hampton and Lakeith Stanfield as FBI informant William O'Neill, who infiltrated the Panthers and gave the information that led to Hampton's death. The film debuts in theaters and on HBO Max February 12th.
Anywhere there's people, there's power.
Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Still ahead on The Power of Two, keeping your dog happy is as simple as listening. If you have a high-tech collar that can translate what they feel, we'll show you how it works. Do you feel like your dog is always trying to tell you something? Maybe it is. It can be tough for humans to translate those barks. Until now, the Pet Pulse collar can detect 5 emotions in canines by monitoring their barks. The inventors, a South Korean startup company, say the collar can determine barks as happy, relaxed, anxious, angry, or sad with up to 90% accuracy. They developed an algorithm based on more than 10,000 samples from 50 breeds of dogs. The Pet Pulse collar, it also tracks your dog's physical activity and rest. Wow, I would love to have one of those. All right, we want to check back in one last time with meteorologist Angela Hutti for a look at our final weather. Angela.
My dog would be on the rest level very often. My poor old man, he sits around a lot more these days than he used to. All right, weather-wise today, scattered rain showers. Our temperatures are in the mid to upper 40s. They will fall through the afternoon but stay above freezing. Windy conditions as well. Those rain showers pull away. A little bit of a break for our evening time frame as temperatures drop into the 30s. Overnight, a few scattered snow flurries, but not until Friday after sunrise do some steadier snow showers start to build in from the west-northwest. And I think by midday this time tomorrow into the afternoon, that's when we see pockets of light snow. Could bring us up to an inch of accumulation, but I think the bigger factor with these snow showers on Friday will be the fact that they're going to get the snowflakes are going to get whipped around in our gusty winds, and that's going to lower some visibility. So keep that in mind. Snow showers end Friday night, but flurries linger into Saturday. We won't really get some sunshine back, I think, until Sunday.
All right, Angela, we will be ready for that. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will see you back here tomorrow. Have a wonderful Thursday.